Hello again, it's our little update that we do on a regular basis. Just to help you with some information, a question that, well, we've just done a few breast lifts this week, so I often get proposed the idea of, do I need a lift or do I need just implants? The way I explain it is simply, an implant will give you volume, it will give you a fullness at the top of the breast. It won't necessarily change the position of the nipple on your chest, but it can fill an empty breast so you may perceive that you've got a better, inverted commas, lifting because the emptiness is repaired. But if you have the nipple below the crease where your breast joins your body, or this distance is longer, about 23 centimeters, you're probably going to need a lift. Now, a lift is an operation where we take the skin off and position the nipple back up by having a transposed flap. It has risks, and the most obvious from a cosmetic point of view is scarring around the nipple, coming down and in the line of the crease of the breast. Scars can be good, scars can be great. We'll do everything to try and make them good, but often women don't want to have a scar on their body. So there is the possibility of doing an implant, then waiting and see if the changes are adequate to you, and then doing a later lift. That's quite reasonable. We usually have to wait probably 2 months, and some women this is appropriate. Usually it's the idea of creating a shelf. So we put an implant that has a higher profile where the breasts sit on top. Now, if we go under the muscle, it's harder to get that. So often we may need to do a lift at the same time as an under muscle, but above, many women, especially if they've had children or older, they'll have a more natural looking breast which does hang a little lower and will be filled nicely. That then raises the question, though, that if we have an implant and it's heavier, the breast may come down too later. So again, the idea of doing an implant first and a lift later is reasonable. The way we do it, you pay for the setup of the surgery before any surgery. If we do 2 surgeries, you don't pay for the second setup. So what we do is, if we are suggested doing a lift after an implant, the second procedure won't have any setup costs, so that's usually about $1,000 saving from that side. So this is just a general discussion of philosophy that in some people it's not a bad idea doing an implant first, then a later lift. Others, we need a lift and an implant at the same time. Lift itself raises the nipple position, doesn't give you a fullness. Now for some women that's fine, but again, often that fullness is what's important. Hope this helps a little bit with your understanding of breast lifts, implants and things like that. Catch you next week.